I used to work maintenance at an old, decommissioned lighthouse off the coast of Oregon. This was back in 2016. I was 24, just out of college, and I needed work, bad. A family friend hooked me up with this contract position, cheap pay, but they covered room and board. The deal was simple. I stayed out there for 4 days at a time, kept an eye on the structure, ran generator checks, made sure the place didn't fall apart during storms. There wasn't even an active light. The tower had been out of service for years. It was mostly just used as a backup relay station for Coast Guard radio signals. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. It was creepy. It definitely was. The place looked like something out of a horror movie. A tall, rusted metal staircase, a foghorn that didn't work, and a basement hatch that smelled like wet cement and fish bones. But I was broke, and it was quiet, peaceful even, at least, at first. The weird stuff started. On my third trip out there, it was around early in the morning. I was in the living quarters, just below the main tower, reading a paperback. Window cracked open. The ocean was loud that night. Waves slamming the rocks. Mist curling up the hillside like smoke. That's when I heard it. A voice. Faint, but clear. A woman's voice, calling from outside. She said,
"Please, help me."
just once, then silence. At first, I thought it was the wind, the way sound can travel strangely along the coast, especially when there's fog. But this didn't sound like the wind. It had tone, desperation, and it came from the direction of the cliff edge. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped outside, thinking maybe someone had washed up or fallen while hiking. But there was no one out there, just rocks and mist. The path was soaked. My boots kept slipping. I called out a few times. No answer. Eventually, I went back inside. Told myself it had to be the ocean, playing tricks on my head. But I couldn't sleep that night. That voice, it stayed with me. It didn't sound panicked. Didn't sound like someone begging for rescue. It sounded hollow, like it wasn't expecting help at all. The next day was uneventful. I ran my checks, logged the usual readings, even managed to get a call through to the mainland. I didn't mention the voice. I was embarrassed. But that night, it happened again. Same time, same voice. But now, she was saying something different.
"He won't let me go."
Still distant, but a little closer. This time I didn't go outside. I just stood at the door, holding the flashlight. Heart racing. I didn't sleep at all. When I stepped outside at dawn, I noticed something strange. There were wet footprints on the stone path behind the lighthouse, barefoot, small, like a woman's. They led from the rocky cliff edge all the way to the side of the building, then stopped. No return trail, no prints going back, no sign of anyone leaving. And then there was the smell. I don't even know how to describe it. It wasn't just salt water, it wasn't seaweed. It smelled like rot, like seaweed that had been sitting in the sun for weeks, like something dead pulled from the ocean floor.
That night, the voice came back again. But this time, I didn't hear it from outside. I heard it beneath me. The floorboards were vibrating. It was faint, but I could feel it, like something was moving under the tower. I went to the basement. There's an old hatch door down there. It leads to a lower storage chamber. It's been sealed off since the 90s due to flood damage. I was never supposed to open it. But that night, I did. I pried it open and nearly gagged. The The smell was unbearable. Mildew, rusted metal, and something rotting. The stairs were rusted through. Water pooled at the bottom, dark, stagnant, soaked in filth. And then the voice, clear as day from somewhere in that dark chamber. It whispered.
You let me drown.
I slammed the hatch shut, ran upstairs, locked the door behind me. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I just waited. Waited for sunrise, like a soldier in a trench. Clutching my flashlight, listening, every creak, every gust of wind, every breath of the building. I thought she was coming up. I left the island the next morning, didn't say goodbye. Didn't finish the log, just packed my things, and waited for the boat. Told the company I was done. Didn't even care about the money. A week later, curiosity got the better of me. I looked up the Lighthouse's history, searched old maritime reports, weather logs, Coast Guard scans, and I found something. In 1983, a woman had drowned, trying to swim from a capsized boat just off the rocks. The vessel had lost radio contact and never received a rescue signal from the lighthouse. Turns out, the beacon system failed that night due to poor maintenance. Her name was Claire Madden. She was 28. She died just 100 feet from shore. They said her body was never recovered. One more thing. I kept her name in mind, couldn't let it go. Last year, I had a dream. I was back at the lighthouse. Everything was still, too still. Then I turned, and in the corner of the room, there was a woman, soaking wet, hair hanging over her face. She looked up at me and whispered,
Please, help me.
I woke up, gasping, sitting up in bed, and that's when I noticed. My window was open, and the smell of the ocean was in my room, even though I live 5 miles inland.